The galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of man. This is the Age of Darkness. Welcome to the Remembrancer's Retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the Vengeful Spirit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Remembrancer's Retreat, a Warhammer 30k Horus Heresy Specialist Games podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm here today with Jared.
What's up?
And today we're going to be going through the Imperial Fist rules for 2.0. Woohoo! And seeing as Jared is a fan, I want to say.
That's a casual observation. Yes.
You enjoy playing Imperial Fists?
Somewhat.
Just a little bit?
A tiny, small bit. Yes. I have a passing obsession.
Just a little bit. Well, with that, you want to dive right in?
Yeah, let's do it. Now, I know we might have some new listeners and some folks who, maybe are looking at switching legions. When we get into the Imperial Fists, everybody automatically thinks the guy standing on the wall. And over the next 6 hours, we're going to, I plan on disabusing you of that notion, of that harmful stereotype.
I'm going to have to replace the SD card.
Yeah. Just buckle up, folks, because this is going to be a long haul here. But no, there's a lot, so much more to the 7th Legion than that. But I wanted to lead with a particular little passage here from the Black Books. This is book 3, Extermination. Mm-hmm. I don't believe it made it into the most recent Liber Astartes book, but I felt it was the most typifying of the statements about the Imperial Fists. I have served alongside the Legiones Astartes before, but these Imperial Fists are a breed apart. They seek no praise, and all the honors and badges of glory move them not at all. But when the dark presses close and the claws of the unknown reach for the throat of our armies, there are no warriors I would choose to stand beside me, for they fight like the titans of legend. Agustin Canto, First Sword of the Antican Regiments. And that's what the Imperial Fists are. We are a legion that's good at being a legion. The people who show up when they need to be there, the people who do their damn jobs. We see so many tragic heroes in Warhammer and pop culture in general. Sanguinius with his red thirst, the lion with his entire personality.
It's true.
Lehman Russ with his entire personality. You get the idea. The Imperial Fists are the antithesis of that. We are people who are good at our jobs. They are the Space Marines who by God know what they're there to do, what the Emperor made them for, and by God they're going to be the best at it or die trying.
Okay, so it's just you and me, and I'm not usually a guy who busts balls. So, but don't try to keep pushing your luck there.
No.
Anyway.
This is, Austin and Steven aren't with us today, so there's not going to be as many, shouted counter arguments to my bold statements here. But, I expect to hear some criticism because, the Imperial Fists get a lot of it, being, kind of the most out there of the Loyalist legions in a lot of ways. And then, some of that criticism warranted. They're not perfect by any means, but I think they're pretty damn good group of guys, and so by all means, Jesse, don't let me hold you back here.
Something easily captured.
Look, that's 40K, man. I haven't even read that. What is it? 7th Retribution? I haven't even read that book. I don't know. Lysander is not even a twinkle in someone's eye yet.
Well, tonight you have the floor. So,
but yeah, let's get into it because there's. Starting with, this is in the main Age of Darkness rulebook. I think there's some stuff that's worth noting here. It's page 60 of the main.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Of the main rulebook.
Yeah.
I was like, that Imperial Fist cover is a lot different than this one.
Yeah,
I'm in the game book. Go ahead.
I've got that open as well. So this is the introductory description of the Imperial Fists. Each legion has its own little thing, but this is the one describing the 7th. The Imperial Fists were driven foremost by the ideals of unity. They stood alone as pillars of stability upon which the foundations of the Imperium were built. They were ever true, unswerving from the toll demanded by the war, and bearing the weight of loyalty without breaking. To the Imperial Fists, no sacrifice in the line of duty was too grave, and they refused to flinch in the fulfillment of their oaths. They were the noblest exemplars of the highest ideals and aspirations of humanity, and for this reason they stood by the Emperor's side more than any other legion during the Great Crusade. As instruments of his will, suck it, Horus, and in the Imperium's time of greatest need, it would be the unyielding Imperial Fists who were its final defense. Theirs was a legion of stoic crusaders, architect, war masons, and voidsmen without equal. The Imperial Fists were masterful in both attack and defense, fighting with unshakable discipline and with methodical application of force. As the Imperium expanded ever outwards, they were to be found always at the leading edge, embodying the Great Crusade's spirit and constructing mighty fortresses at the sites of their victories to act as much as garrisons as beacons of unification. So, with that in mind, let's get into it. And there's one last thing I want to note here.
Sure.
I love in each of the Legion entries in the main rule book, it's got allegiance, and on all the traders, it's like, traitor perdita or something. It's you're the baddest of the bad. Traitorous Maximus, something like that. Yeah. And with the loyalists, it's got a couple grades.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah, you wouldn't playing your legion. You might not notice this.
No.
So the Iron Hands. Let's see. Fidelitas Constantis.
Constantly.
Constantly faithful. Constantly faithful. The Raven Guard. Same thing. Fidelitas Constantis. The Dark Angels. Fidelitas Constantis.
Of course.
The Imperial Fist. Fidelitas Totalis.
Totally faithful.
Totally faithful. And I love that little distinction. It's clearly some scribe for the High Lords of Terra wrote that down as like, hey, some of these other legions, they might have had like a squad or two, maybe a company go bad. Maybe there were some traitor fists. We just don't know of any.
Makes me wonder why there's only a single loyalist, only warlord trait then. Out of the 3 they have, but that's fine.
Well, because I think it lets you.
Yeah. Of course.
One of their rights of war is loyalist only, which I thought was really funny. The only other loyalist legion to have that distinction is the Salamanders.
Gotcha.
Because, they're not turning traitor, man. They're good boys.
Yeah, because I know myself and Michael, we've been slowly, every now and then when we get a chance, rolling dice in basically a mini campaign, and he actually has a small contingent of traitor fists with an esoterist who unlocks some ancient technology, and my Dark Angels are there to see if I can sniff it out and take care of business. And it's been fun.
I find myself rooting for the Dark Angels. It's a thing I never thought I'd do.
Well, it's not every day I get a chance to shoot at Imperial Fists, so I'm not going to say no. So, anyway.
Oh, I guess now we can get into the meat and potatoes here of our rules. So these are to be found starting on page 224 of the Liber Astartes. I guess we want to start with the advanced reaction here.
Or 224, just the standard rules.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wow.
No, you're good.
I swear I
cut that out.
So the Legiones Astartes Imperial Fists. All models of with this special rule are subject to the following provisions. Discipline and resolve. Models with this special rule gain a bonus of +1 to all to-hit rolls with any auto weapons or bolt weapons as part of any shooting attack, including as part of any reaction.
Which is really, really, really good.
It is, folks. In 1.0, this was a nice thing. Your tactical Marines are hitting on 2s.
I'd still say it's a pretty powerful Legiones Astartes rule.
Yeah, your heavy bolters are hitting on 2s. It was just a cool little thing. Hey, look how good we are at this. Now, all right. Real quick.
Because it was just all bolt weapons before.
Bolt weapons, yes.
Now they enhanced it to auto weapons as well.
And they've been kind enough to include really comprehensive, really big lists of what qualifies as a auto and a bolt weapon.
Pretty massive.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Just I'm gonna read through these and in your head, think of the potential for greatness that's going on here. An auto weapons. The Astartes shotgun, the rotor cannon, the autocannon, the Reaper autocannon, the Carries assault cannon, the Gravis autocannon, the Gravis autocannon battery, Predator cannon, Punisher rotary cannon, Accelerator autocannon, Fellblade accelerator autocannon, Sky Reaper battery, Anvilus autocannon battery, Anvilus snub autocannon, Leviathan storm cannon, Kratos battle cannon.
Now, granted, some of those are already hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
Like the Leviathan storm cannon.
Yeah.
But
a lot of them aren't, though.
Yeah.
Underbolt weapons. Bolt pistol, bolter, combi bolter, Kraken bolter, Nemesis bolter, heavy bolter, Gravis bolt cannon, Gravis heavy bolter battery, and Avenger bolt cannon.
Yeah, you've got over 20 different weapons that you are now hitting on 2s with in the hands of an Astartes.
Yes. And, now that tanks and flyers, vehicles have the Legionis Astartes trait, they're also benefiting from this.
Yeah. And it should be noted that this is a +1 to hit and not a +1 to ballistic skill.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, so like if you're, say, your Contemptor Imperial Fist Dreadnought, it still has a twin-linked rule for, like, say, it's Gravis bolt weapon or Gravis bolt cannon. It's not going to be re-rolling those ones due to a ballistic skill high.
No.
It's already got twin-linked, so ignore me because I'm already thinking way too much about that.
Yeah. I do think it would apply to, if you had to do snapshots, though, so you'd be hitting on 5s. Because it's +1 to hit.
Yeah, when it mentions any shooting attack.
Yeah. But so you've got, whereas in 1.0 we had, Legionis Astartes traits for the most part did not touch tanks at all. Now you've got, your armored company, your Kratos, your Fellblade is now getting a bonus to its hitting.
Yeah. Which I got to say, in this new edition, I really like how they've incorporated those other units as part of Legionis Astartes. It really now makes each army feel even that much more unique.
Yes, exactly. And it does, it feeds into balance as well, because as an Imperial Fist player, now I've got more of an onus to take tanks, whereas our in-world nemesises, the Iron Warriors, get a bonus against shooting at armor.
Well, I think like you take a squadron of Predators and suddenly now your basic Predator autocannons are hitting on 2s.
Hitting on 2s. And those heavy bolters.
That's really good.
It's just volume of fire.
Yeah.
We've seen so many well-deserved nerfs to, shooting, with our artillery debuffs, smaller blasts, higher APs on a lot of weapons. But the volume of fire has really, it's improved.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways in this edition, and it's great, and it's super effective. At least in the limited amount of games I've been able to get in, it's really great.
Yeah, I noticed with like my heavy support squadron of Volkite Culverns changing from heavy 4 to heavy 5 with a 5 or 10 man squadron.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're rolling a whole lot more dice.
50 shots, baby.
Just an extra die per model, and suddenly, wow.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It really is.
It doesn't sound like it, at first, but when you throw all those extra dice in your hand, it's like, okay, I can live with this.
The math is gonna tell there.
Yeah. So in addition to Discipline and Resolve, they also have access to the Vaults of the Phalanx, which gives them unique war gear options. They have the Lords of the Imperium, which allows them to take a Castellan console upgrade as an upgrade to a Centurion. And the Sentinels of Terra, which allows them to take Warlord traits from the Imperial Fists Warlord trait list.
And oh boy.
And we'll be digging into those here in a second.
What a list.
Mm-hmm. You want to hit up the advanced reaction for the Imperial Fists?
Oh, I do.
And I hate this one. You did this to me the other weekend. It hurt so bad.
So Imperial Fists advanced reaction. The best defense. This advanced reaction may be made once per battle during the opposing player's movement phase when an enemy unit ends a move within 10 inches and within line of sight of any model with the Legiones Astartes Imperial Fist special rule in a unit under the reactive player's control, with that unit making this reaction. The reactive player may declare a charge for the reacting unit against the enemy unit which triggered this reaction once that enemy unit has completed its move, and as if it were the controlling player's assault phase, with a charge distance in inches equal to d6 plus the lowest unmodified initiative characteristic of any model in the reacting unit, and any charge modifiers the unit has. If the charge is successful, the units are locked in combat and a fight in the assault phase as normal, with the charging unit benefiting from any charge bonuses, Hammer of Wrath, etc. If the charge fails, no surge move is made. So yeah, Jesse and I last weekend had a really interesting game.
It was 3,000 points.
3,000 points. Yeah. I needed to try out my Hammerfall Strike Force list, which I'm bringing to Nova, and I just had not tried it yet. And it's such a weird list. I felt I really needed to get a game in with it to see how it works. And I got to say, every bad thing that could have possibly happened in that game did happen. Just
generally, I hate, as an excuse, using bad dice. You had bad dice.
Yeah.
You had bad dice.
I'm exactly the same way. I'm like, oh, don't bitch about your dice is whatever. But it's like, man, how many times did I roll double ones on
just the most simple of shots?
Yeah. Sweeping advances, armor saves on Sigismund against bolters. It was just nothing was going my way. It was just one of them days.
Disordered Hammerfall Strike.
Yes. and that's the thing is I brought...
Pretty sure that's what saved me. So we're going to take this entire army and put it here in my gun line.
My list was like 2 Contemptors and a Despoiler squad on the board, and then 2 squads of Templars, a command squad, Sigismund, Fafnir Ron, some Phalanx Warders, and a heavy support assault cannon squad, and a Melta support squad, all coming down. And turn 2, I made my reserve roll. My Templar squad rolled just where it needed to. That was my first unit. And then we rolled to see if it was going to be a disordered assault. And I rolled that 1. So Jesse, I think it was 24 inches. You got to place all my units.
Up to 24 inches. I can place your units.
So he got to put everybody else.
I kind of packed everybody in one big blob on your side of the table, which allowed me to give it a little more breathing room.
Yeah. And Jesse had brought a couple Terminator squads, a big tax squad, 2 Contemptors, Horswain, and a bunch of special, whatever, the Deathwing guys, and a Spartan.
The Companions, and 10-man group of Cenobites, and a Warmonger.
Yeah.
The Warmonger was with the Cenobites, and it turned out to be a hell of a beast of a unit that I was not quite expecting.
That boy is spicy. My goodness. But yeah, Jesse got to set up exactly where he wanted to be. So all my initiative was completely gone. Turn 2, it was not looking my way. And he boldly moved up his Spartan and Corswain, and his Deathwing companions got out and got right in Sigismund's face. And I said, okay, I'm charging you.
It's like, no, I keep forgetting about that.
Why would you think of that?
I was thinking about early on in the game. I was like, he's got that best defense on somebody.
Well, it was
like, I was riding that high of being able to move your entire army in a disordered deep strike, and I got a little cocky.
Prideth cometh before that.
Corswain managed to get a few hits on Sigismund, but that instant death, can't do much about that.
Yeah, that's something when we get to Sigismund's rules is really interesting dynamic there. He's gotten some interesting changes that we'll get to, but the advanced reaction here, it really, yes, it's great at, somebody's coming after you. No, I'm in your face. It's my charge. You're taking the initiative out of somebody. And so it's you're forcing your opponents to be a bit more cautious. But no matter what, when you use that, it's going to be good. It's going to be useful.
A D6 plus, generally speaking, a D6 plus 4 to your charge. So any major, that's better. Any major melee unit that they're trying to get in within you, the fact that you have that in your back pocket just holding that just in case for the most serious unit that they're going to come at you with. That's when you play it, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah,
and it's pretty brilliant. It really changes the dynamic.
Because it's happening in your opponent's phase, they can't do a reaction against it.
Nope, no reaction.
So that charge isn't going to be disordered. It's not going to get hit with Overwatch. It just happens. And it's good times. It's real good times.
And I will say the benefit of that, the fact that there's no surge movement made, and just in case nothing, just in case you manage to fail that charge, you don't suddenly tee up your opponent to get an even better charge.
You're not leaving yourself hanging out there.
You decide, this wall is nice. I'm going to stay right here.
Yeah, and it's great at, the way I tend to play Imperial Fists is, think of the force as a fist. Everybody's got to work with everybody else. Everybody's, the way your units kind of overlap each other is really what makes the Imperial Fists the Imperial Fists. So with this, you've got, maybe you've got a heavy support squad or some, shooty unit. And you've got a melee unit next to them. Well, hey, melee unit come take care of business to protect your shooters.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful reaction. But yeah, going on to warlord traits. I thought you were flagging me down.
Oh no, you're good.
So this first one, this first one's my particular favorite. Solar Marshal, and this is the loyalist only one.
Totalis Fidelis.
Yeah, that's right. and we'll see why here. As the forces of the Arch Traitor pressed the borders of the Segmentum Solar, the commanders of the Imperial Fists defensive spheres learned the extremes of desperation and hatred required for victory. I got cold chills just reading that.
The Dark Angels could have taught you that years ago. Just saying. Well, you should have been paying attention.
No. The Dark Angels don't share information. Yeah, you got nothing to say.
No, it's true.
They don't.
It's true.
You could have saved Inwit too, but you didn't.
Well,
Motherfucker. I swear to God.
White Dwarf 478. Check it out. It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Jesse posted that little blurb in chat, and it ruined my entire day. Like I woke up the next morning and I was like, I was just mad. I just woke up pissed off. I'm like, you son of a bitch. The lion was like kind of a dick, but now, my God, what a sociopath.
Yeah. It's what happens when you grow up on a world full of monsters and demons as a baby.
And you become one? Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, you had a hard childhood. I'm so sorry, Mr. Demigod.
Dorn grew up with a loving something, I'm sure.
He grew up on Inwit sucks, man. It's
with a tribe.
It's Fenris without the Viking weebs.
He wasn't like 5 years old living in the forests with demons trying to fucking eat her.
We don't know because he hasn't gotten a Primarch book yet.
Oh, he hasn't?
No, he's the last one. They teased it, but they haven't put it out yet.
Oh, that's so weird. Okay.
I know. It pains me daily.
I guess they were saving the best for last year. You're welcome.
Your words.
You're welcome.
Words.
I was doing it for you. All right. So anyway, Solar Marshal. What the hell does this do? What does this do?
A warlord with this trait and all models in any friendly unit that warlord joins gain +1 to their weapon skill characteristic when locked in combat with one or more enemy units that have the traitor allegiance. In addition, an army whose warlord has this trait may make one additional reaction per turn in any of the opposing player's phases, as long as the warlord has not been removed as a casualty. This additional reaction may only be made by the warlord's unit and does not allow any unit to make more than one reaction per phase.
That's pretty handy.
That's extremely handy. Being able
to choose which reaction phase.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's fantastic. So you're flexible, but with our slightly changed to hit table.
Yeah.
Now your Templar squad that you put your warlord in is now weapon skill 6. The Huskarl squad you put your warlord in is now weapon skill 6. The Phalanx Warder squad that you put your warlord in is now weapon skill 5, but when they get charged, they're weapon skill 6.
The basic bitch 20-man tactical squad that you decide to put your warlord in, weapon skill 5.
That's right. That's right.
The change to weapon skill really has changed the dynamic of this game.
Best
in the
part
assault
about this new
phase.
edition. Honestly, there's so many good things to like. There's so much care and attention to detail that went into making this a more intuitive and more fun game. Honestly.
Yeah, it's.
But weapon skill matters now.
Yeah, yes, it
weapon
does.
skill is a big deal. And
it used to be, I would look at it, it's like, that and initiative.
Yeah.
Like I know, most of my shit's hitting an initiative 1 with the power fist.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hitting an initiative is great, but now it's adding to so much more, especially for the reactions and stuff. It's really cool how they implemented that.
It's nuts.
So,
and, with this boost, say you're taking an already weapon skill 5 unit, your command squad, whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
The only units that are hitting you on 4s or better is going to be like the Phoenix Terminators from the Emperor's Children, because they can up their weapon skill by 1. I think it reduces their attacks or something by 1. They have some sort of special nonsense. I can't remember what it is. But damn near everybody else is going to be hitting you on 5s and is going to get hit back on 3s. And that is a game changer. That is so good.
Yeah. It's really cool to see it actually matter now.
Yeah, it really does. And yeah, there's certain, the Dark Angels, they get one of their little hexagrammic things that's like +1 to hit or something.
The Deathwing, +1 to hit. So you're hitting on fucking 2s when you're at a higher weapon skill. Yeah. Which is, as you know, pretty scary.
With your freaking 5-up tyrannic greatsword nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but even then, against Cenobites or something, with Deathwing, well, you're hitting on 4s, not 3s, not 2s, 4s. You might still roll crappy. Yeah. It is a fantastic warlord trait. A previous criticism I've seen leveled at the Imperial Fists is their characters are so good that there's no reason not to take the, Sigismund or Alexis Pollux or Fafnir Ron. Now,
you can make your own and feel good about it.
Yeah. And when we get further on, there's some army list ideas I've kind of brought here to discuss. You'll see you can make some nasty combinations with non-named characters, with build your own guys. It's really fantastic. Next one, Warden of Inwit. As constant and immovable as a glacial plateau, any attack made against a Warden of Inwit is sure to be rebuffed as an assault against a solid wall of ice. That was so metal. When within 6 inches of an objective or within their own deployment zone, a warlord with this trait and all models in any friendly unit that warlord joins automatically pass any morale checks or pinning tests they are called upon to make. In addition, an army whose warlord has this trait may make an additional reaction during the opposing player's assault phase, as long as the warlord has not been removed as a casualty.
Again, very solid.
Yeah.
Very solid. 6 inches of an objective. So you got a 12-inch bubble, basically.
Yeah. Or your own deployment zone.
Yeah. Within. It doesn't say wholly within, so I guess that means that you could have like just a model or two tiptoed in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned it several times already with this new edition, pinning, morale.
Mm-hmm.
Now that, Marines are 1 less than they used to be in the first edition, it, again, makes a huge difference.
So good.
And being able to automatically pass that, not even like a buff to it, just you're fearless in some ways.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's, how many fearless models truly are there. Chaplains are stubborn now with leadership 10. Your Herald, Sigismund, and the Primarchs. To my knowledge, that's it.
Yeah, I have to double check. I feel like a couple warlord traits might make you
maybe.
That.
Yeah. It is. That's good. That's so good.
Even at this point, stubborn is really good too.
Yeah. Honestly, it's.
But fearless is where it's at.
Mm-hmm. Just not having to worry about it. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're on our deployment zone. We're on an objective.
Yep.
I dare you to get me off of it. My Phalanx Order squad is here. We're running Stone Gauntlet. We're on an objective.
Yep. And now you can make an additional reaction in the assault phase, so you can overwatch with your 2-up bolters.
come at me, bro.
Auto weapons.
Yeah. It's
Solid.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Yep. Let's see. Architect of Devastation.
And going back to the Imperial Fist being really good at a lot of different stuff. We see one warlord trait that makes you super good in melee. We see one that makes you super brave, unbreakable will. We see one here that makes you great at shooting. Mm-hmm. Pick what you want to be good at. Do your thing. This is, I would argue, probably the most versatile of the Legionis Astartes. Maybe the Alpha Legion, but
Yeah, you can really pick and choose what you want here. Architect of Devastation. To many in the Imperium, the noblest virtue of the Imperial Fists was that of their roles as builders and defenders. They were to be seen atop the ramparts of bastions which they had erected across the length and breadth of the galaxy, laying down withering hails of firepower against any who had transgressed the Pax Imperialis. And just see a great old big stone wall in the sky when I talk about that. This warlord, and all models with the Legionis Astartes Imperial Fists special rule, in any unit he joins, may re-roll failed to hit rolls of 1, as long as that unit is entirely within the area of terrain that grants a cover save or embarked within a fortification. In addition, an army whose warlord has this trait may make an additional reaction during the opponent's shooting phase, as long as the warlord has not been removed as a casualty. This one's good, but can be a little bit tricky, because you got to be wholly within the cover.
It is somewhat restricting in that, whatever unit he joins, you're probably not going to want to move him around much. Mm-hmm. But hey, maybe you got a backfield objective that's, in some ruins, or you bought a bunker or a trench line or whatever.
That's true.
This has a ton of good potential here.
Yeah, this would be great if you do buy an Aegis defense line.
Yeah.
Something in conjunction. There you go. You automatically know you can use it.
Yeah. I didn't think of that, but that's fantastic. And with so many auto weapons, particularly, autocannons, heavy bolters, Iliasis assault cannons, you're getting +1 to hit already. So, if you put them with a heavy support squad, now your weapons are twin linked.
Oh, does it make it twin linked when you're
essentially?
I see.
Because,
Yeah.
You're hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. You're
effectively
you're twin linked.
Yeah. Good twin linked.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. And this would be particularly a great one to take on, if your warlord is a Castellan, which we'll get to a little bit later. But that's a great complementary trait to have there.
Yeah. So what we've been doing, Jared, is skipping the rites of war.
Okay.
Because I usually call it to units that we haven't talked about.
Makes a ton of sense.
So we usually come around after we talk about the units and come back to that. So, but we can go on to the armory if you like.
Sure. So the Armory of the Imperial Fists. So first, and this is a ton of text, but I'll try to make it real simple for everybody here. The Vigil Storm Shield. Any model with both the Legionis Astartes Imperial Fist and independent character special rule that does not have a unique subtype may take a Vigil Storm Shield for 20 points. So your basic Praetor, your Centurion, not in Terminator armor, just your basic dude can now get access to this. But in last edition, they could not. Only Alexis Pollux had that particular privilege.
Really? I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
So now you can get that 3-up for any of your officers, should you so desire. Additionally, any models with the Legionis Astartes Imperial Fist special rule in a Legion Tartaros Terminator squad or Legion Tartaros Command squad may exchange a Combi Bolter for a Vigil Storm Shield for 15 points each. And any models with the Legionis Astartes Imperial Fist special rule in a Cataphracti Terminator squad or a Cataphracti Command squad may exchange a Combi Bolter for a Vigil Storm Shield for 10 points each.
Okay.
A model with a Vigil Storm Shield gains the 3-up invulnerable save. So, you know, per your squads, these are the best invul you're going to get anywhere for your money. It's just great. Not invincible. Trust me, I have failed so many.
Yeah, still got a 1 in 3 shot of getting through.
But you know, that's your Terminators mathematically are going to survive longer than anybody else's.
Especially now that they all have 2 wounds.
Yeah.
That made a huge difference.
Oh man, is it a game changer?
I'm no longer scared to take a 5-man Terminator squadron like I used to.
Yeah, it's not a big deal anymore. Even foot slogging, it's less of a thing. You just go. You might lose a guy or two, but you're gonna do something, or you're just gonna soak up enough fire that everybody else can deal with whatever's shooting at you. Invulnerable saves granted by the Vigil Storm Shield do not stack with other invulnerable saves, so you can't find some gamey nonsense to get a 2-up or any of that sort of nonsense, and cannot be modified by any other special rule. You hear that, Jesse? Cannot be modified by any other special rule. So Mr. Marduk Cedrus came out last week. Oh yeah, your what's that called? Dust of Dead Worlds or something? Yeah.
Yeah, it's taking the minus to invuln saves.
Well, our Inwit crafted shields don't give a damn about your fancy sword.
I'll just shoot you down with my bolters.
Mr. Cedrus.
You're going to miss enough. Anyway.
If a model has another invulnerable save that the controller player must choose one to use. Model with a Vigil Storm Shield may never gain an additional attack for being armed with 2 close combat weapons or make melee attacks using a weapon with a 2-handed special rule. Pretty basic. I know it's a lot of text to throw at you, but hey, you get access to a 3-up invul. Nobody else really does except for like 1 unit of the salamanders. It's good. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So next one we have here is Teleport Strike. All models with the Legionis Astartes Imperial Fists special rule in a Legion Cataphracti Terminator Squad, Legion Tartaros Terminator Squad, Legion Cataphracti Command Squad, or Legio Tartaros Command Squad may be given the Deep Strike special rule for 25 points a unit. And any model with both the Legionis Astartes Imperial Fists and independent character special rules may be given the Deep Strike rule for 20 points per model.
So, Deep Strike has been made good for the first time in forever. Deep Strike is awesome now.
You can assault out of Deep Strike, and that has finally made it worthwhile.
And everybody comes down together at once.
Yeah. Coherently.
Coherently. And you get to place them. They're not, sitting base to base, clustered up, waiting to catch a
you're not going to lose a 500-point
mortar
support
shell
squad of 10 guys with melted guns and a drop pod. And sorry, rolled a 1. I guess that's gone for the game.
See ya. Yep. No, it's good now. It's great.
Not going to be slung into the far end of the corner of the map.
Yeah. And there's a handful of other units in the whole of 30K that have Deep Strike already or have access to Deep Strike. But it's not many.
Yeah, Night Lords and maybe Sons of Horus.
Gal Vorback have them, I think.
Yeah. Maybe.
I think Sons of Horus might have like 1 unit that can take them or have the ability to give them to 1 unit. I remember Zach talking about it a bit, but it's nowhere near as varied and as available as it is for Imperial Fist. Because as we'll see, it's available in a lot of different ways and in a lot of different capacities. It's good times.
Yeah.
The Solarite Power Gauntlet.
This stupid thing.
this fantastic, wonderful thing. These augmented Power Fists are greatly favored by the officers of the Imperial Fists Legion. Crafted in imitation of the ancient relics of Old Earth, they embody their legion's heraldic icon in the shape of a powerful weapon.
It's a fist, get it?
It is also a fist. The weapon, I'm sorry, any model with the Legionis Astartes Imperial Fist special rule, not a character, not, an independent character, any model.
Wow.
May exchange a Power Fist for a Solarite Power Gauntlet for 5 points, or exchange a Thunder Hammer for a Solarite Power Gauntlet for no additional cost. The Solarite Power Gauntlet is Strength 10, AP 1, Melee, and Unwieldy. You know what you didn't hear there? Specialist Weapon. So...
Yep, that +1 attack with your bolt pistol. Because for some reason, you need that with your giant fist of death.
You really do. And, we were talking about this a little bit ago in chat. And, Steven kind of conjectured, it's not, a normal Power Fist is instant death against regular Marines. Kind of what's the point of this? But that was really before that. I think that happened a couple weeks ago. It was before we had access to the books and saw how much stuff has battle hardened has the Sons of Horus reducing all your strength by 1 in the first round of combat.
Mm-hmm.
Your toughness 5 Gal Vorbach with Feel No Pain. All of this stuff just takes that nonsense away. Biomancy, making your T4 units T5. You were going to get a Feel No Pain roll against that Strength 8 Power Fist. Well, now here's a Strength 10 Power Fist. And you're just popping traders like blood pimples. They're just, it's fantastic. You don't have to worry about it. And even on simple stuff like, in our last game, we had, Sigismund got into combat with Corswain and the Deathwing. Corswain and the Deathwing, it took like 2 or 3 turns. They ended up dying. With a Dreadnought was left. And I had my Templar champion beating on him. It's like, hey, I'm wounding you on 2s, not 3s, 2s.
Yeah.
And you know what? I rolled a couple 2s.
And he finally got me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it took like another 2 turns.
Yeah, it did. It took a hot minute. It's just great. It's fantastic. All that, I think it's battle hardened. Who gets it? Death Shroud Terminators. Mm-hmm. They're battle hardened. So they, against instant death wounds, they count as like T5.
Mm-hmm. Still don't care.
Nope. I think the Salamanders have an advanced reaction. Similar thing. They like the unit gets battle hardened.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing fighting Salamanders?
I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just messing.
Hypothetically, our first game was actually against Salamanders. So
yeah, it's good.
Yeah. It's just a fantastic thing. Particularly, Steven and I have played many games over the course of the years, and he loves bringing his Gal Vorbach, which now have Feel No Pain instead of Demon. So, enjoy an instant death that you get no Feel No Pain or anything against. You're just.
Yeah.
But no, it's so great because even, put this on Attack Sergeant, instead of 2 attacks, he's getting 3 attacks. On a Templar champion, instead of 3 attacks, he's getting 4 attacks.
Yep.
It's great. It's so great.
4 attacks on the charge.
No, 4. He has 3 attacks base. So
no, I was talking about the sergeant.
Oh yeah. Attack sergeant. 4 attacks on a charge, man.
Mm-hmm.
Strength 10. Yeah. It's just fantastic. And AP 1.
Yeah. So your vehicles, it's a vehicle smash also, for sure.
Are also in for a bad time. And it's so great because, melt-a-bombs used to be, a dime a dozen. It's like every single unit could take melt-a-bombs.
Yeah.
Now they're a lot more of a premium, and they tend to be more expensive. It went up from like 5 points to 10 points this edition, in most instances. Oh, now.
But you got your gauntlet.
Yeah.
Melt a bomb in a fist.
Yeah. It's just fantastic.
Yep. So that brings us over to the Elastis Assault Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
This counts as an auto weapon, and it may be selected by the following units. Any models with the Imperial Fist Special Rule and the Infantry unit type, they may exchange a Heavy Flamer for an Elastis Assault Cannon for 10 points each. A Legion Predator with the Imperial Fist Special Rule may exchange your Predator Cannon for a turret-mounted twin-linked Elastis Assault Cannon for no additional points cost, which is kind of neat. And any model with a Dreadnought or vehicle unit type and Legiones Astartes Imperial Fist Special Rule may exchange a Heavy Flamer for an Elastis Assault Cannon for 20 points each. So I'm assuming Sponson weapon?
Yes.
Yeah. So, the Elastis Assault Cannon has a 24-inch range, is Strength 6, AP 4, Assault 4, Rending on a 6-up, and malfunctions, which means that during a reaction, if it's used to make a shooting attack, it gets hot.
Which this is such a fantastic change from last edition, where the malfunction rule was if you rolled 3 1s out of the 4 dice,
you're done.
the weapon jammed. It could not be shot for the rest of the game.
Did that ever happen to you?
That happened the first time I used it.
Did it happen to you any time after that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Literally, I was doing a game against Steven, and I was like, oh yeah, I just got this thing assembled. I got them painted up.
Yeah. Clink.
Bring them.
Clink, clink.
Terminator's deep strike onto the board.
Malfunction.
Oh, it was a gut punch. And now you don't have to roll everybody separately to make sure they don't malfunction. It's just,
no, it makes sense. And
going faster. And yeah, it's great. You gets hot. Well, there's a price to greatness.
Huh?
And that's, that might be a wound or two. It's all good.
Yep.
I have built a heavy support squad of 10 guys with this. And I've heard a lot of going back and forth in the Facebook Imperial Fists group about the merits of this particular unit and how useful it is because it's got a 24-inch range.
Yeah, it's a shorter range. So like compared to an autocannon, which has 2 shots, strength 7 also runs on a 6-up.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a little bit of balance there to that.
There definitely is. But look at this, stick this unit right in the middle of the board. You got a 48-inch threat bubble. It's just fantastic. You can move and shoot. You're hitting on 2s. And, we're here for a good time, not a long time.
How many heavy flamers can I put on a Kratos? It might just be the 2, I think.
I think it's 5 total. And something that, since you brought up vehicles, that to bear in mind, one of our local guys, Ethan, took like a Blood Angels Predator with their twin-linked assault cannon and painted it yellow, made it an Imperial Fist one. Looks great. Took the sponsons on it. I think all told, if you take the a pintle mounted one as well, it's like 175 points, which is pricey for a Predator. But you're putting out 16 shots, 4 of which are twin linked.
Yeah.
A turn. It's great.
Yep. So it looks like the Kratos looks like you can take 3.
3? Okay.
1 for each sponson and then a pencil mounted.
Fair. Okay.
Exchanging the heavy flamer.
Yeah. And there was some debate as to sponsons. It says 20 points each. Are you then paying 40 points because there's 2 assault cannons?
I think so.
My take on it was, each every other instance in the lists, you're buying a set of sponsons, not 1 each. So I would say it's 20 points.
Well,
I don't know.
The fact that it's very singular.
Yeah.
It's talking, and it also incorporates dreadnoughts as well.
Which dreadnoughts, that's its own.
Dreadnoughts are vehicles like a pencil mounted. You would exchange for 20 points, and I have a hard time seeing changing out both pencil mounted for 20 points. Just judging by how the rest of the other stuff is. So
that's, I don't know.
So they
could have written it a little more clear.
Looking at it compared to the other stuff, I feel like they wrote it pretty clear in my head. Because you got, let's see, other heavy support. Let's see, sponsons. Yeah, las cannons are 15 points a model for 2. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as pricing, at 40 points seems like really expensive compared to other stuff.
Compared with like Volkite calibers for 10.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but seeing that in my head, it does really, as written, seems very singular. But like you said, it might be something different.
There's arguments for each, definitely.
But
just in terms of economy, I feel like it's 20 for 1. But hey, maybe they'll FAQ it, whatever.
Maybe. So we are 50 minutes in. Would you like to get to the Councilaris?
I guess so.
We haven't even touched the units yet.
Oh, we'll get there.
Oh, yeah.
So the Castellan. Any Legion, it's 20 points. Any Legion Centurion with the Legionis Astartes Imperial Fist special rule may be upgraded to a Castellan console instead of selecting any of the standard console upgrades, granting that model the benefits below. Castellan gains the Fire Support special rule and the Heavy Unit subtype. Fire Support. When making an attack with a heavy weapon, a Castellan may increase the number of attacks made with this weapon by +1 when making a shooting attack. For example, shooting with a heavy 3 weapon would roll an additional dice for its attack, so it's heavy 4. In addition, any Legion heavy support squads in the same detachment as a Castellan gain the Line subtype.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've that's something that's really stuck out to us in general, is just how few units in the list have Line. And even, all these rights of war that make, various
Things troops, but don't score.
Yeah, it doesn't grant them line.
Yeah.
Well, now your, heavy bolter squad, your autocannon squad, your missile launcher squad can sit in the backfield on an objective and just chill.
Yeah. Like they want to.
Yeah.
Like you want them to.
Yeah. And then all your other units are freed up to go do fun stuff. As far as war gear, he can take a heavy bolter for free, a mastercrafted autocannon for 5 points, or an Iliastus assault cannon for 10. And don't forget, they're relentless. So, your guy can move and shoot, and it's
jumping off of buildings, 360 no scoping off of.
It's fine with an autocannon. It's all good.
It's fun.
Mastercrafted even.
I did the Armistice with a heavy bolter, and that was pretty fun, just running around with him and just shooting at will. It was pretty fun. It felt like like the old Space Marine video game. Just run around and get the heavy bolter and just pow, 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 pow.
Speaking of which, GW, when can we see that sequel, please? Please?
It's coming eventually.
Oh, boy. It's exciting.
Yes.
And in addition, they can't take a Warhawk junk pack, Spatha combat bike, scimitar, jet bike, combat shield, boarding shield, power fist, soul right, power gauntlet, lightning claws, or any weapons with a two-handed special rule.
You're a little bit reduced. You're a shooty guy, not a punchy guy.
You're a shooty dude. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, that's am I going to make a Castellan? Probably not. But it's a fine option.
Yeah, because you're more of a melee assault person.
I am more of a melee assault person.
Yeah.
I'm not the wall guy. Nothing against the wall guys. It's all good. And I've seen plenty of really, really, really good Castellan conversions in the Imperial Fist group. There's some fantastic stuff out there, particularly with the two new Praetor models coming out of the Age of Darkness box. It's really, really good.
My mind's still blown about how many conversions have been making those Praetors look so different.
Like I now just need 2 of each. Just
I mentioned before, I was worried at how static I thought they were going to be, but people have just gone above and beyond. I was like, nope, here we go.
Yeah. It's
pretty cool.
Really good.
Yeah.
So do you want to go back to Rights of War or do the units first?
Units first. That way we know what units we're talking about in the Rights of War.
Well, let's start with Rogel Dorn.
All right. Having dessert first.
He is 435 points, every one of which he's going to earn. Primarch of the Imperial Fists, the Vigilant, Blade of the Emperor, Praetorian of Terra, the Unyielding One. Rogel Dorn, he is Movement 8, Weapon Skill 8, Ballistic Skill 6, Strength 6, Toughness 6, Wounds 7, which, by the way, I checked. I think he's the only Loyalist Primarch who has 7 wounds. Ferris doesn't. Vulcan doesn't.
Ferris doesn't. That's
I know.
Surprising.
Guilliman. No, nobody else seems to have 7 wounds. I wonder if Mortarion does. I'd have to pull up Hereticus, but and it's not that he's super physically resilient. I think it's just that extra wound is just pure resolve.
Spite.
Yeah. That's just no, you won't kill me.
Yeah.
I've decided that your bullet is not going to do that thing.
That's fair.
He is initiative 6, which is a nice change. He's got 6 attacks, also fantastic. Leadership 10, 2-up save. Looking at these new rules, last edition, Dorn was great. I had a lot of good times with first edition Dorn. This guy, I think they read the Siege of Terra books, and our writers at Forge World said, okay, well, we're gonna give him an update here, because they
did that with a lot of the Primarchs.
They really did. Korax is terrifying now. My goodness, there's a lot of good stuff that's been added to them to make the somewhat onerous price tag and points cost worth it. But Dorn, spoiler alert, this is the guy who killed Alfarius. This is the guy who beat Fulgrim like the rented mule of a redheaded stepchild. As came up in chat a little bit ago, he's been personally responsible for removing 2 legions from the war. And his rules on the tabletop very much reflect that. With the weapon skill 8, going through, the Lion is now weapon skill 8. Russ is weapon skill 8. Angron is weapon skill 8. Horus is weapon skill 8. I don't believe there's a 9. There might be some guys that get like +1 to hit.
Yeah, I'd have to do a deep.
But
anyway.
I've been looking around for it, and I haven't found anybody.
Yeah. But regardless.
Yeah, regardless, that weapon skill 8 is in the meta of 2.0 is fantastic. Even like Perturabo went down to weapon skill 7 because.
Well, he's shooting anyway.
Yeah. Why is he in a fist fight anyways?
But I mean, that puts you at hitting stuff on 2s for most standard, bog standard infantry.
And
hitting
oh boy,
2s.
Your war gear. You have the Auric armor, Storm's Teeth, the Voice of Terra, and frag grenades. Your special rules: Legiones Astartes, Imperial Fists, Master of the Legion, Bulwark of the Imperium, Crusader, Furious Charge 2, Deep Strike.
He's got
Deep Strike.
He's got Deep Strike
Automatically. So you don't have to worry about paying a bunch of points to stick him with the Terminator Squad or anything. Nope. He's just in it already. Loyalist, and Warlord Sire of the Imperial Fists. And that is the following. If chosen as the army's warlord, Rogaldorn automatically has the Sire of the Imperial Fists warlord trait and may not select any other warlord trait. Sire of the Imperial Fists. All models with both the Legiones Astartes Imperial Fist special rule and the character subtype in the same army as Rogaldorn may use his leadership characteristic instead of their own. And any unit they are part of may add +1 to the total number of successful wounds caused for the purposes of resolving which side has won a combat. This does not stack with any other rules that increase the assault result. Bummer.
Yep. So your Vexillas and stuff
yeah.
no longer count. But honestly, then you save up points for your Vexillas.
Yeah. Which, I mean, your Vexilla will keep you from running off the board, but
that's
still,
true.
It's like, being leadership 10, though, is in this edition, hot damn.
Right.
And I love that it's just characters.
Yeah.
Before it was just everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's characters. So, your opponent with his sniper rifles, really has it picked out who he's going for to reduce that leadership. In addition, the controlling player of any army with Rogaldorn as its warlord may select one phase at the start of the battle before any models are deployed onto the battlefield. During the chosen phase of their opponent's turn, any army that includes Rogaldorn gains an additional reaction as long as Rogaldorn has not been removed as a casualty. I love the flexibility here.
Yeah.
You're playing world leaders, take that additional reaction in the assault phase.
Although slightly not as maneuverable as the Solar Marshal.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. I feel like
it is. You didn't.
He's already a Primarch anyway.
Yeah,
so it's not like you need a lot more.
That's the thing. You really, there's a lot to go on here, but truly, that's you get to pick, and you get that. It's good.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, if you're building your army around a Primarch, you probably know what you're about anyway. Mm-hmm. So you probably have a good idea of what phase you want to react in.
And with Bulwark of the Imperium, you can see you're making even more economy of your reactions. So the Auric armor. The Auric armor provides Rogaldorn with a 2-up armor save and a 4-up invulnerable save. In addition, no attack may wound Rogaldorn on better than a 4-up, regardless of strength or special rules.
Ooh. That's wild.
It's so great. It's so great. Just.
Yeah. It speaks for itself there. It reminds me of some of the new units in 40K. Kind of have similar rules to that.
Yeah.
Like certain Terminator squads and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's lovely. That you hit me with a D weapon or whatever. Yeah. Well, guess what? Yep. Roll that 3-up, please.
Yeah. 4-up.
4-up, sorry. Yeah.
Sell yourself short.
No. Heavens no. Bulwark of the Imperium. Any successful charge that targets Rogaldorn or a unit he has joined is always counted as a disordered charge. Now, I said don't pigeonhole this Imperial Fist into being defensive. That's not to say we're not good at it.
Yeah. You're automatically just...
So, that's a free reaction, basically.
Yeah, he's automatically holding the line.
Yeah. So, we can save that reaction to Overwatch you and you're disordered.
Yeah.
It's just good stuff. Now, the weapons are where things get real interesting. Storm's Teeth. It counts as a chain weapons for the rules that affect such weapons. It is +2 strength. So you're hitting at strength 8 base. But again, if you charge, you're hitting at strength 10. It's melee, 2-handed, murderous strike, 6 up, shred. So even if you roll some, ones, you get to re-roll them, and then reaping blow 2. And by the way, reaping blow doesn't reduce your initiative anymore. I checked.
Ah, okay.
So that I6 stays at 6.
And this is what, 2 extra attacks when you're in base to base with more than a single.
So, and because I particularly watched the Warhammer Plus battle report between Imperial Fists and Sons of Horus to check this. Dorn and Horus get in a challenge. He still gets those extra attacks, even though he's in a challenge. In last edition, you only counted as in base-to-base contact with the unit you were challenging.
True. Yeah, because now that you still maintain the blob.
Which is a really cool change. So to do some quick math here, say he does a charge and he's in contact with 2 units. That's 6 attacks base plus 2 plus 1 for charge. That is 9 strength 10 attacks.
At AP2.
With shred.
With shred.
And murderous strike.
And murderous strike on a 6 up.
6 up, could be a 5 up, but hey, No, that's just good times. That's just really good times.
That is a Primarch.
Yeah, that's
a goddamn Primarch.
That is the dude who's going in and doing the thing.
Yep.
And thank God, they fixed the voice of Terra. The voice of Terra, it counts as a bolt weapon for the rules that affect such weapons. It is range 24, strength 5, AP 3, assault 3, rending 5. In the last edition, it was a salvo weapon.
Yeah.
And Dorn was not relentless.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you gave him what's essentially, in his hands, a bolt pistol. On the model, it even looks like it's bolt pistol scale. But he can't charge after, like, what? 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 No.
You don't have to worry about that anymore.
No, this is just good times. It's just 3 little shots. It's beautiful. So, moving on to Templar Brethren. Now, I'm going to say going into this, there's a lot of interesting, really, really interesting changes to the Imperial Fist units and seeing how a lot of other Legion-specific units and other legions got like crazy buffs. I don't necessarily think the Imperial Fist got any of those crazy buffs, but they did balance well, and I still like them.
They're still very strong. They were strong in the last edition, and I don't think they really had to change much.
Exactly.
They're pretty straightforward for what they do, but that's Imperial Fists.
That's the thing is, reading through the Space Wolves rules and the Dark Angels rules and the Emperor's Children and the Alpha Legions rules, we see all this crazy, funky shit they can do. I mean, hey, I've got this special rule. I took this hexagrammic thing that gives me this thing, and it does, in addition to my wing rule. Yeah. The Emperor's Children. Oh, I can up my weapon skill but lower my attack, or up my attacks but lower my weapon skill. I can do all this fancy shenanigans.
Imperial Fists.
The Imperial
Fists. I
hit
good, I shoot good.
Yes.
I take saves.
Yeah. We are a 1995 Chevy Silverado. By God, we're going to do what we do well. It's a really interesting dynamic there between the elites of the Imperial Fists and of like every other legion almost. Is they just come off as basic, but they're good. So Templar Brethren. They are movement 7, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 4, wounds 2, initiative 4, attacks 2, leadership 8. And the champion has same stats, but 3 attacks and leadership 9. And they got a 2-up save. They got artificer armor.
And I feel like it's also worth saying with the Imperial Fist rule of hitting on a +1, like most of these units are effectively a +1 ballistic skill than what they usually show anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So still effectively weapon skill 5 and ballistic skill 5.
Yes, very much so. And they're 150 points base, which is compared with what they were last edition. This is I think it's almost like for a 10-man squad that's fully equipped, it's about a 100-point drop.
Ooh, okay.
they were pretty overpriced last edition for what they did, particularly for only having one wound.
Sure.
This go around, I think they're priced extremely appropriately. War gear, they've got artificer armor, power sword, bolt pistol, frag grenades, and crack grenades. Their special rules, they've got Legionis Astartes Imperial Fist, Furious Charge 1, and Crusader, which again allows you to reroll. Not reroll, but roll an additional dice when you're doing a sweeping advance. Pick the highest. For dedicated transport, they can take a Legion Rhino, a Land Raider Proteus carrier, and just those two. As far as options, they can take 5 additional Templar Brethren for 25 points each. The entire unit can take Melta Bombs for 25 points. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the scarcity of Melta Bombs in this edition. Just 10 dudes who are weapon skill 5 who can take Melta Bombs, against your dreadnoughts. They were great, doing those D3 wounds. I don't know of another elite unit that has that ready access to them, especially for 25 points.
I think veterans do.
No.
Veterans don't have melt bombs anymore?
I
made an assumption. I'll check, but you go ahead and keep going through your stuff.
I'm very confident on that, but am ready to be proven wrong.
I haven't taken them yet, so.
Yeah. Any model in the unit can take a combat shield, for 2 points. Combat shields are 6 up now. I'll take them on the champion just because, but for 20 points, I don't even think it's necessarily worth it. Any model can exchange its bolt pistol for a plasma pistol for 10 points. If you got the points, sure. But with reaction fire being a thing, it's for 100 points of kitting these guys out with plasma pistols that get hot, and you got to roll breaching on them. It's like, this is a melee unit.
Yeah. So the vet sergeant can take a melt bomb.
Okay.
Destroyers can take melt bombs for the unit.
Okay.
And that's about it for elites.
Yeah, that's such a shift.
Yeah.
But giving it to them for 25 points, fantastic. I take it every time. Plasma pistols. I'm not telling you you're a dummy for taking them if you want to. I've got 20 Templars. I modeled like 3 of them with plasma pistols. Do what you want, but it's not necessarily the best option. You can take an Nuncio Vox. You can take a Vexilla for 10 points. And the Legion Champion can take a Power Fist for 5 points, a Solarite Gauntlet for 10, or a Thunderhammer for 10 if you want to get those brutal attacks, which, Thunderhammer has the nice, brutal rule, so you're forcing your opponent to take more saves and doing more wounds for them. Mm-hmm. Solarite's hitting at 10. So, I mean, both are good, honestly. I'm not saying, I've got my guys modeled with Power Fists, so I'm running Solarite Gauntlets. Mm-hmm. But Thunderhammers are not wrong. Follow your heart there. The champion can take an Archaeotech pistol for 5 points, or can upgrade one of his weapons to become Mastercrafted for 10.
Always take the Mastercrafted.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
From the Sword Player Legion, always take the Mastercrafted.
Fair. But real practically boots on the ground. This is a 325 point unit for 10 of them that are kitted out, the way I like to kit them. Mm-hmm. And they do good work, honestly. A ton of, each of these guys on a charge is having 4 attacks.
Yeah.
The champion's getting 5. And they're strength 5 because of Furious Charge. Mm-hmm. Power swords are better now with rending. You're drowning your opponent in blows. Against Terminators, they've stood up. These guys, as bad as my dice were on Jesse and I's last game, a unit of these guys took a charge from the Cenobites, lost no one, maybe one guy. I think they lost one.
I think, I can't remember how that one played out.
Your dice were not great. And
that particular,
my Templar champion just, popped the Warmonger like a Coke can, and they ran.
Oh yes, I remember that now. Yep.
And then I rolled like 1s and 2s for my Crusader and still did not sweep them. But bottom line, These dudes held up.
I know what it was.
What?
I rolled a 2 to run away.
That's right.
And you rolled double 1s on your goddamn Crusader sweep. It was amazing.
I had to step away from the table. I was
could have lost a couple hundred points of Cenobites right then and there. But,
losing my mind.
Plus, they had just recovered from being hit by my Spartan.
Yeah,
and then they were forced to fall back because they failed their morale check.
Oh, madness. Insanity.
It was wild. It was pretty cool.
Really was.
But it was fun, though.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. It was one of those I don't think I would have done anything different. It was just, this is a game of chance in some ways. And
well, to be fair, I basically set half your army on the table for you. So that kind of that kind of affected things, I think. The
dice gods be fickle.
Yeah. And we'll talk about Fafnir here a little bit later.
Yeah.
Speaking of dice.
So
next up we have the Phalanx Warder Squad.
Oh, yes.
So we have it's a 10-man squadron coming in at 225 points base. You have 9 Phalanx Warders and 1 Warder Sergeant. The Phalanx Warders come in at Movement 7, Weapon Skill 4, Blisk Skill 4, Strength, Toughness 4, 1 Wound, Initiative 4, 1 attack each, Leadership 8, and Power Armor 3-up save. The Sergeant is pretty much the same except for an extra attack and 1 extra leadership. They're equipped with bolters, bolt pistols, power axes, boarding shields, frag grenades, crack grenades, breacher charge, power armor. They are heavy units, and Sergeant, of course, is also a heavy character, all infantry. They have the Imperial Fists Special Rule, they have Shield Wall, and they have Lockstep. They may take a Legion Rhino Transport, Termite, or Land Raider Proteus Carrier if they are no more than 10 models. And let's see, the Phalanx Warder. Let's go do special rules here.
Sure.
The Lockstep. If a unit includes at least 3 models with the Lockstep special rule and is not locked in combat, all friendly models in that unit, including those without the Lockstep special rule, gain a bonus of +1 weapon skill for the duration of any assault phase in which the unit is successfully charged by 1 or more enemy units.
So, this is fantastic. I just flipped back in book 3 to the original rule, which said they had +1 initiative, which is great for a unit with power axes to have +1 initiative.
Yeah.
It was a weird time back in 2015.
It makes them strike an initiative too. It still makes them hit before the power fists get them, right?
I don't think so. But no, this is great.
I guess it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't. That would have been cool, but no.
Oh, well,
it'd be that way. No, this is great. And particularly, it benefits your characters too. So that weapon skill 6 Praetor, now he's weapon skill 7.
When he's getting charged.
Yeah. It's great. It's so good. And, in addition to, maybe making that charge disordered, or overwatching, because, last edition, to take a power axe or any special weapon from that list, you were giving up your bolter.
Yeah.
Now you get both.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, for a long time, there's been a debate in the Fist unit and the Fist community. Are the Phalanx Warders a shooting unit or a melee unit? Well, now they're both.
Best of both worlds.
And especially with heavy now being that you can't run, there's no reason not to shoot unless you're charging. So, just 7 inches up, boom, up, boom, up, boom. Just
unless you don't want to get shot back. Reaction fire is a bitch.
Yeah, now a stone gauntlet.
That's fair. So their other special rule is the shield wall. Models in this unit with boarding shields, which are in base contact with at least 2 other models with boarding shields, and are neither falling back or pinned, may add +1 to their invulnerable save to a maximum of 3 up. Friendly models with the independent character special rule that have joined a unit of Phalanx Warders also benefit from the special rule, so long as the unit includes at least 3 models with the shield wall special rule.
So, for those at home, that Iron Halo
becomes a 3 up.
It's
really good.
And once we get to Stone Gauntlet, you will see where that becomes nuts.
Other options for the Phalanx Warder Squad includes taking up an additional 10 warders for 20 points each, for a big old 20-man squad. For every 5 models in the unit, you may replace a bolter with one of the following weapons. A Magna Combi weapon for 10, Minor Combi weapons for 5, Flamer for 5, Melt-A-Gun for 15, a Plasma Gun for 10, or a Thunder Hammer for 15 points. So yeah, we'll throw a few extra Thunder Hammers in there for color, I guess.
Yes. And think that, with our rules, you can also take a Solarite Gauntlet for 15 points.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is my plan going forward.
Wait, that's because it's not just characters, right?
No, it's just anybody. So, Thunder Hammer's a fine choice, and I've got like 5 or 6 Phalanx Warders modeled with Thunder Hammers.
Yeah.
I like the Strength 10 hits, but
sure,
both are good.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yep. And Warders, the Phalanx Warder can be upgraded to carry a Vexilla, or one of the Warders can be upgraded to carry a Vexilla for 15, a Nuncio Vox for 10, and the Sergeant may exchange his Bolt Pistol, Bolter, or Power Axe for one of the following. Power Fist for 10, Plasma Pistol for 10, Thunder Hammer for 15, Solarite Power Gauntlet for 15. And the Sergeant may take Melt Bombs for 5 points. He may also exchange his Power Armor for Artificer Armor for 10, or you can give the entire squad Melt Bombs for 50 points each.
And I think they're the only unit anywhere that can get 20 models with Melt Bombs. I can't imagine a scenario where you would absolutely need to do that. Maybe if you were like, in a mega battle and your opponent had like
a Titan or something.
A Titan, 2 or 3 super heavies clustered together and you could just like disordered charge everybody.
Yeah.
There's a handful of scenarios, but there are not many where that's like, let me spend 50 points for this. No.
So it's geared towards, it's basically a reskinned assault squad.
Yeah.
In my head. Because you get the...
sort of?
It's... What gets me is the extra melee weapons you can take.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of your basic kitted out assault squad.
Okay. That's an interesting take. I never would have thought of that.
And the Melt Bombs.
Yeah. One of our guys, Michael Weimark, brought up a interesting question to me. He plays Imperial Fists 2. He said, what's the, outside of Stone Gauntlet and some of the specialist stuff, what's the benefit of taking these guys versus a 5-man Terminator squad? And I really had to think about it a bit. And here it is. A 5-man Terminator squad is like 175 points base. These guys are 225 points base. Here's the benefit. Say these, with their special rules, they're getting the same invul as Cataphracti. Base Cataphracti, not special Imperial Fist Cataphracti here. Mm-hmm. They've got 10 bolters versus 5 combi bolters on a Terminator squad against instant death attacks. Power Fists, Thunder Hammers, whatever. Your wound pool is 10 rather than 5 for wiping out the unit. And they're getting that bonus if they get charged to weapon skill. There's a lot of really, really interesting stuff you can do with this unit. And cards on the table. First edition, this was my favorite unit in the game. Period, bar none. It was these guys. If I wanted to have fun on the tabletop, this was who I was bringing. They were just so good. The thing that has changed since last edition is breaching charges. First edition, they were the best melee unit or melee like weapon in the game.
Most hilarious for sure.
It was glorious. High risk, high reward, front towards enemy type weapon.
When someone throws a breacher charge on the table, everybody stops to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it was just the way it was.
Somebody's going to die. It might be you, but it's... for our listeners who might be new, the old breacher charges were, you basically placed a small blast template in base-to-base base contact with the swinging model. And then you made a single dice melee attack. If that attack hit, that template didn't go anywhere. If you missed, it's scattered. Mm-hmm. And it just a single scatter dice, but it's scattered, so it could go back on you. It could go back into the enemy unit. But it was a strength 8 AP2 ordnance weapon. So at first I was like, it's one use, whatever. Literally the first time I swung with it, I killed 2 Terminators and a Contemptor Dreadnought with it.
Back in those heady days.
Yeah, that woke me up a bit to the potential. And it kind of became my thing of, like 15 warders, you take 3 of those.
And you caught the bug.
Yeah, big time. And if you ever meet Austin Hunt in person, ask him about the Death Sworn. He's still salty about that.
Yeah, because every single one of these guys has a breacher charge.
Yeah, but now breacher charges can only be used against fortifications. It's a single hit that just does automatically. It's a different thing.
Okay.
So my favorite unit doesn't do the thing I really loved. That nobody else would agree with me on. I wrote articles for the podcast and then put them on our page about how great this type of unit and using it in this way was. Nobody believed me. Nobody believed me.
And now no one will believe you ever again.
I know. It just screamed into the void and the void wasn't even kind enough to swing back. But no, it's still a fantastic unit. I look forward to using it on the table. I think it's great. The thing that these guys are not great against, and we saw it, Jesse, with our game, was honestly just basic tech squads. Big blob units. Because they don't have that many attacks. Yeah. They might be really good AP, they might be high strength, but they don't have a ton of attacks.
Well, see, I also had the edge of having Deathwing on my tacticals, giving them that +1 to hit in combat, which was pretty significant, and somehow fucking saved my entire squadron from a Contemptor Dreadnought and your Warder Squad with
Fafnir.
With Fafnir on.
My Contemptor missed with every single dice. And like the crucial round of combat that I think we ended up tying. Yeah. Missed with every single dice.
Yep.
3 2s was my dice roll. It was just embarrassing.
Then finally my Primus Medicae was able to get up there and get out of the way and managed to poke Fafnir.
Yeah, I think they both died.
Sword. Yep,
but,
it was
you inflicted an instant death attack on me. I rolled a 2 for my invul.
Yeah.
That was it. It was just shameful.
Then things started falling apart in that combat for you.
It really did. But no, the thing with Phalanx Warders now is that we'll see this with Stone Gauntlet. They are just the most durable unit in the game, period, bar none. They're it. Somebody did the math with Stone Gauntlet. If you're stick an apothecary in this unit, you are saving 87.5% of your wounds.
Wow.
It's nuts. But
we'll get the Stone.
Yeah, we'll get to Stone Gauntlet here in a minute.
Now, from the elites on to the characters.
We need some dramatic music playing in the background for this part.
I'll figure something out.
Good.
I won't. But yeah.
Son of a bitch. Sigismund, the best first captain in the Legiones Astartes, the finest blade in the Imperium, shy of the Primarchs. I'm making deliberate eye contact with Jesse as I say this.
But I got the blade, man.
Yeah.
Of course, Swain's got the blade.
That's so nice. He's 230 points. And it's an interesting thing before we get into him. There's definitely a rebalancing of a lot of the big named characters in this edition. Corswain, Sevatar, what's his nuts from Emperor's Children? Lucius.
Well, he's got new rules now.
He does. Yeah. And then they're intimidating. Honestly,
I don't think he was in the first edition.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
But he's got kick-ass rules now.
Yeah.
They're really good. Sigismund, for his part, has had a bit of a nerf this go around.
Not completely unwarranted.
But I'll still take him against any other guy in the Legiones Astartes.
Oh.
He's it.
Yeah.
Here's why. All right. He's movement 7, weapon skill 7, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 wounds, initiative 5, attacks 4, leadership 10, 2 up save. He's got artificer armor, an iron halo, the black sword, a mastercrafted bolt pistol, frag grenades, and crack grenades. His special rules, Legiones Astartes Imperial Fists. Independent character, Master of the Legion, Fearless, and Eternal Warrior.
There it is.
There it is. I don't know of any other character that has Eternal Warrior.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I can't. Listeners, if there's one, please correct me.
I have to dig into the traders. Maybe.
Yeah, I
don't know if Abaddon has it now.
And no, he doesn't.
Okay.
And I was scooting around looking for it. I just haven't found anybody. Adamantium Will 3-up, which is cool because you're making him as more of a Templar. 40k Templars. They don't have Psychers. They hate Psychers. Deny the witch. Blah blah blah. Starts that, and also he's just hyper focused. Even in some of the blurbs, in the books, you talk about his focus, his intensity is intimidating even to Primarchs. He is a singular guy.
And chill.
Yeah.
Just chill.
We see his character arc over the course of the Horus Heresy, where he gets strongly censured by Dorn, which I would like to discuss it at some point, because I think that warrants revisiting.
We can have a sidebar at some point there.
Yeah. We see him being brought very low, spiritually, morale wise. He's really doubting all the stuff that he held as certainties for a long time. And finally, as we get to, Solar War, First Wall, Saturnine, Warhawk, we see him shed all of his emotions, all of his sort of personable traits, and become this hyper-focused, entirely one-dimensional killing machine. And it's just so beautiful. It's so great.
But additional special rules.
Yes.
Dolorous Fighter.
Death's Champion, Precision Strikes 3-up, which that's really cool. Really cool.
Yep.
Talk about that in a second. And Warlord trait, Slayer of Kings. And obviously he is a loyalist character. Duh. Warlord trait, Slayer of Kings. He automatically has that trait. If Sigismund is the army's warlord and slays the enemy warlord in a challenge, the controller player gains +1 victory point and +1 to combat resolution for the whole army, but it can't stack with Faxilas or any other thing. So, I mean, that's cool. It's cool. It's the thing he does. He is a head taker. He is the champion. He is the swordsman. And, like Jason in particular has accused him in the past of being like one-dimensional, like just a ceremonial duelist. I strongly disagree. This is the guy who's, if you do one thing and you do it well enough, you don't need to do any other thing. That's Sigismund.
Yeah.
No other fighter can do what he does. Now, with his special rules, we'll go through these real quick, and then I want to talk about how he compares with some of the other characters in here. Death's Champion. Sigismund and any unit he joins gain a bonus of +2 to all charge distances and sweeping advance rolls made for the unit. So, if he's with Templars, you get Crusader and +2 to that.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. You're
going to sweep. If you win, you're going to sweep.
Unless you get my dice, you're going to sweep.
Yeah. To be fair, you did not have Sigismund in there.
It's true. I didn't. In addition, if Sigismund is present in any detachment, then that detachment may take Templar Brethren troop squads as troop choices. Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized I missed something in his warlord trait. He also gets an extra reaction in the movement phase, as long as he hasn't been removed as a casualty.
Sure.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean, and unlike like Solar Marshal, it doesn't have to be taken by his unit. So he just gives that to the army, which is nice. But he makes Templars troop choices, which is good. That's nice. Dolorous Fighter. When a challenge is issued in any combat that includes Sigismund, Sigismund's controlling player must always accept that challenge with Sigismund. If the opposing player does not issue a challenge, then Sigismund's controlling player must do so and must nominate Sigismund to fight in that challenge. Look, he's going to be in a challenge.
Gotta fight.
He's got to do it. He is the guy. That is your dude. Do it. Additionally, when fighting in a challenge, successful invulnerable saves taken against Sigismund's attacks must be re-rolled.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
Now, the Black Sword has special rules. It's melee, strength +2, AP 2, two-handed, instant death, and mastercrafted. Now, the cool thing with what they've done with Sigismund's rules here is in previous 1.0 games, I ran into the dilemma of, Sigismund was in combat with a unit of deaths, Austin's Deathsworn. Yeah. And no one would accept his challenge, like a coward. And his little wolf priest guy, the one that gives him feel no pain.
Yeah.
Was hanging in the back, not accepting the challenge, but giving them feel no pain, which he was making a ton of those rolls that weren't instant death. Last edition, he was only instant death in a challenge. Now the sword has it, and he's got precision strikes. Yeah. So Austin, if you try that nonsense next time, I'm just going to behead your wolf priest with my 3-up precision strikes and instant death. Okay? It's coming. But no, that's great. The debuff I mentioned earlier is that last edition, and any charge, he got +1 initiative, and he granted that to his unit as well. And real talk, what that translated to was your opponent not getting to hit back. Honestly, that's what that did. 1.0, I think I just deliberately played Sigismund as stupidly as possible. And most of the time it just went great.
Just tried to,
one event we did, he killed Abaddon. He tanked a Justarin squad. It just plowed through everybody. The next game, he killed Eidolon, and it's just the same thing. I was like, oh man, he's going to die. No, he's not going to die. He's fine. Now, he's a little bit less that way, just because everything's kind of more killy now in this edition. But he's still, with Eternal Warrior and 4 wounds, he's just fantastic. Now, what we ran into Jesse and I's game, and what I'm sure I'll run into playing Emperor's Children and Night Lords out here is, he's I5. Corswain is what He
is also I5.
Yeah.
But the blade gives, or the blade has dual edge, which makes him I7.
That's right.
And
he's got instant death on
challenges.
Yeah, he's got instant death hits on 4-ups or something.
Murder Strike 4-up.
That's right.
Dual Edge 2.
And
melee 2-handed mastercraft.
Lucius has something similar. He's initiative 6. In a challenge, he's weapon skill 8.
Yeah.
He rends on a 3-up. He re-rolls 1s. He's got all these crazy rules, and they're faster than Sigismund.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. But at the end of the day,
that Eternal Warrior.
Dice around the table. Your opponent has to do 4 wounds to you.
Yep.
You have to do 1 to them.
Yep.
And that's the math.
The Eternal Warrior, it just makes that such a hard proposition.
Yeah. With our combat, Corswain did 2 wounds to Sigismund.
Yeah, which typically would have just straight up killed anyone else.
Exactly. Yeah. That would have knocked out any other guy. Sigismund, chop.
Yeah.
Dead.
With that Eternal Warrior, it still reduces to 1 wound. It's not like other ones that give a D3 wounds. Yeah. It just reduces it all by 1. To 1, I should say.
What's really cool in this edition too is, with Dreadnoughts having a toughness value now, Sigismund's hitting at strength 6, wounding a Dread on a 5 with instant death attacks. Mm-hmm. It's just fun. That's just a cool thing. But no, he's still the champ of the legions, in my opinion. I think there's just they buffed up a bunch of other characters, so he's less of a sure thing than he was. But also, his weapons got master crafted now. Mm-hmm. He's fantastic. He's really good. He's terrifying.
It's that Eternal Warrior, though.
Mm-hmm. That really that does it, man.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised they didn't give it to all the named unique characters. I know, not to shit on Sigismund, but as far as for a thematic type of gaming thing, you think they would have just kind of,
I think,
or would have too much?
Yeah, I think it would have been a bit much. And I think the writers, they needed to make Sigismund distinct in some fashion.
Give him 8 wounds.
But but also I think they were seeing into the future. You know, not just who, you know, Abaddon and Karn would be, you know, later on in the Warhammer universe, but who they were right at that point in time.
Yeah.
And Sigismund was the only guy who justified that. That's just my take on it.
Sure.
He's a beast. He's a monster.
Yep.
He's great.
Sigismund.
Yeah, he's the him and Fafnir Ron are the kind of the onus of my Nova army, and I truly look forward to bringing him in a month.
So with that, there's Alexis Pollux.
Alexis Pollux, you know, this guy, he's the dude who got me into Imperial Fists, honestly.
Oh yeah, neat.
Picking up book 3 in you know, like 2015, and you know, initially I was a Mechanicum player. I was dabbling with like Raven Guard, but picking up book 3, and it was like right at the same time I read Crimson Fist.
Yeah,
and you get to see Alexis Pollux's point of view, in which, you know, he's, you know, reluctantly the head of the Retribution fleet. You know, they get ambushed by the entire Iron Warriors Legion, and beat their ass. You know, this is the guy who was about fixing to kill Pert, and you know, the powers of the warp had to bend reality and, you know, avert their plans, and you know, basically gave Pert a Deus Ex to protect him, because he was going to die. Like, he was going to die. He was losing that battle like terrifically to a guy who he's 405th captain. He was a
way low on the
10-piece chicken McNobody at the time of the Battle of Fall.
Yeah.
And the powers of the warp broke through the ruin storm, and they get a message. This is the will of the Primarch Rogaldorn. All Imperial Fists return to Terra. And by God, Pollux did it.
A minute.
Yeah, I know.
Just a minute.
And you know, everybody's, he's such an idiot. He would. I'm like, look, man, this guy was like a second lieutenant, and he got put in charge of like a war front. You know, this guy is, you know, fresh out of West Point, and he got put in charge of D-Day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. However, coming back with Pert's head probably would have been
obviously
pretty nice.
that was the wrong move.
Yeah, but you know,
nobody is disputing that.
If everybody made the right moves in the Horus Heresy, we would not have a book series.
Exactly. You know, this is high tragedy here. This is, you know, the mythology of 40K. Of course, they're going to choose the tragic choice. Come on.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll run through Pollux's stats.
And by all means.
All right. So, Pollux at 185 points, captain of the 405th Company of the Imperial Fists, master of the Retribution Fleet, and the Crimson Fist himself. Pollux is movement 7, weapon skill 6, bliss skill 4, strength 5, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, has a leadership of 10, and a 2-up save. He has Artificer Armor, an Iron Halo, Solarite Power Gauntlet, a Vigil Storm Shield for that 3-up save, Combi Melta, pretty sweet, frag grenades, crack grenades. He is a heavy, unique character. He has the Imperial Fist Special Rule, an independent character, Master of the Legion, Void Commander, Deep Strike, Hammer Blow, Master Tactician is his Warlord trait, and he is a Loyalist. Master Tactician as a Warlord trait, you gain this. After all models are deployed, but before any rolls to seize the initiative are made, the controlling player of Pollux may redeploy one friendly unit within the limitations of the mission being played. This may place a unit that has been deployed normally into reserves, or bring a unit out of reserves, but may not add or remove units that have been assigned to a deep strike assault, drop pod assault, flanking assault, or subterranean assault. In addition, an army with Pollux as its warlord may make an additional reaction during the opponent's assault phase, as long as Pollux has not been removed as a casualty. Kind of interesting. Yeah. It's not as strong as some of the others that I've seen, but it's, again, 405th captain.
Yeah. It's, you know, Pollux's thing is he is a master tactician. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, they were trying to reflect that. Obviously, if you're going...
Moving a unit on the table, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's cool.
Let's see, Void Commander. So obviously... You know, and this bears noting the Imperial Fist, it is in the Black Books in book 3. they have the finest fleet of any of the Legionis Astartes. Period. It's in there.
Okay.
I mentioned it at one point, and everybody gave me the exact look Jesse's giving me right now of extreme doubt. I was like, oh, what about the Sons of Horus? No. Alan Bly wrote it in book 3.
Just saying the Dark Angels has some pretty good shit.
Yeah, you got some nice toys, we know. As a whole, we have the best fleet. But no, that's as
You get one floating castle in the sky, and then suddenly you think...
we do have other ships.
Yeah.
A few. That eternally crusading one. But Void Commander.
Yeah.
The controlling player may opt to automatically pass or fail any pinning checks made for Alexis Pollux and any unit he has joined. That's nice. Last edition, it was pass or fail any morale checks, which was better. But
it's interesting choose to opt to automatically fail a pinning check.
If you want to.
I guess if I'm in that crater, I guess I'll get them to fail a pinning check. And okay. But sure, thanks for the option.
Yeah. In addition, all models in unit.
Sir, we got to fail this.
Please, it's the only way.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. In addition, all models in a unit that Alexis Pollux joins while in reserves gain the Deep Strike special rule.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
It's like the Warmonger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But without that splicer nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is great. I've run him with our first event. I ran him with a vet squad and just deep strike that into your enemy's backfield with like a bunch of combi flamers. Yeah. It's just fantastic. It's just really, really good. And again, I said, fists have so many options and sources of deep strike. This is just one more of them. It's just, it's good times. Now he's got a hammer blow, which, again, Alexis Pollux is strength 5. His thing is he's a giant. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's a large, imposing fella. And during any fight subphase, Alexis Pollux's controlling player may choose to have Alexis Pollux make a single attack with the profile below instead of attacking normally. While using this option, Alexis Pollux may not gain bonus attack for charging, additional weapons, from any other special rule. Jeez, I'm running out of talk here. Weapon hammer blow. Strength 10, AP 1, melee, armor bane, melee, flesh bane, exoshock.
The armor bane is cool. I don't quite get the flesh bane.
No.
At strength 10.
Not one bit.
I'm not sure what it's there for.
Unless
there's some sort of interaction. I guess it makes you re-roll against dreadnoughts.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That's the only thing I can think of right now.
Yeah. But you know what you don't see there? Unwieldy.
Oh, shit. Yeah, but you only get one strike.
One hit. Initiative 5. Strength 10, AP 1.
Armor and exoshock.
It's yeeting.
Yeah.
It's great.
If you had only one shot.
Yeah. Yeah. This is your one shot. Just going in, hitting hard. This is fantastic against characters. It's instant death against anybody.
Yeah.
But it's got other cool uses. I mean, I've been in combat with like a knight and Pollux and his unit, and the knight had one whole point left. Like, all right, start a combat. I5, boom, took that last whole point off. Like, well, that's good. It's got so many cool uses, and it's great at protecting Pollux from like basic characters, and just doing serious damage. It's good.
Yep. All right.
Oh, Fafnir Ran, the Chad of the 7th Legion, the most handsomest Marine.
One of the few Imperial Fists that one can respect.
Pretend I didn't hear that.
Yeah, well, I had to bring it down a little bit.
No, he's the man. He's cool. Yeah. He's the jovial, fun to be around guy that hangs out with Sigismund to kind of add some levity to the endless moroseness.
Crack a smile, Sigismund.
Seriously. No, this is the guy you take when you're running Stone Gauntlet. Honestly, he is the dude. Fafnir Ran, he's 175 points. Movement 7, weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, 3 wounds, high 5, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 2 up save. He is infantry, unique character, and heavy. He has artificer armor, bolt pistol, frag grenades, crack grenades, iron halo, the headsman, and the hunter. His thing is dual wielding axes, and a boarding shield. His special rules: Legionis Astartes Imperial Fists, independent character, Master of the Legion, Shield Master, Executioner's Tax, Hammer of Wrath, and his warlord trait, the Unbroken Wall. Also, he's a loyalist.
Duh.
His warlord trait, the Unbroken Wall. Fafnir ran in all models in any Legion Breacher squads or Phalanx Warder squads in the same detachment gain a bonus of +1 to their weapon skill for any duration of any assault in which they successfully charge an enemy unit. In addition, an army with Fafnir Ron as its warlord may make an additional reaction in the opposing player's assault phase as long as Fafnir Ron has not been removed as a casualty. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Now your Phalanx Warder squads, regardless of whether they did the charging or not, are getting +1 weapon skill.
Mm-hmm.
Your Breacher charges, which are like in 2.0, kind of lame. As you know, your line units go, they're not great. Now, weapon skill 5. It's just so cool and fluffy and great. I love it. Executioner's Tax. When an enemy unit makes a successful charge that places one or more enemy models in base contact with Fafnir, or any model in a unit Fafnir has joined, that enemy unit suffers D3 +3 strength 5 AP- hits. These attacks hit automatically and are resolved during the fight subphase at initiative 10, but grant no model a pile-in move and do not benefit from any special rules that Fafnir or any other model in the unit may have. Hits inflicted by the special rule are allocated as normal for attacks made in an assault. So this is just him like whipping his axe right as your enemy comes in. Up to 6 strength 5 attacks. That's just cool. Doesn't cost a reaction or anything. It's just going in. You got shield bashed as you made your assault.
Yeah, it's like a more effective Hammer of Wrath.
Yeah. Shield Master. This is a Shield Master and the Headsman and a Hunter. His axes, they kind of play together in various ways. So you gotta kind of take it all as a package, because there's a couple different things you can do here. When Fafnir Ron is locked in combat and his controlling player has chosen to use the single axe profile for the Headsman and the Hunter in that phase, all hits inflicted by enemy models and allocated to Fafnir Ron must reduce their strength by -1 to a minimum of 1. When using the twinned axe profile for the Headsman and the Hunter, this special rule grants no benefit. Fafnir Ron is not counted as having a boarding shield for any rules that would grant him benefits for having a boarding shield. And Fafnir Ron may ignore the usual restrictions for using a weapon with a two-handed special rule while also having a boarding shield until the end of that assault phase. So you get hit with a power fist. If you got you're using the single axe, that power fist is now strength 7.
Mm-hmm. And not single-handedly taking you out.
In last edition, Stone Gauntlet gave a bonus to toughness. Well, now we're reducing the strength of the incoming attacks. It's great. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Nice and fluffy. Now, the Headsman and the Hunter, his axes. You've got 2 profiles here. Basically, is he using 1 axe or is he using 2 axes? So with the single axe, or actually, I want to read his little blurb here because it kind of plays into what we just read.
Yeah.
Fafnir Ron's power axes, the Headsman and the Hunter, are considered a single weapon with 2 profiles. One representing Fafnir Ron using a single axe in concert with his shield, and one representing Fafnir Ron using both axes at once. In each fight subphase, Fafnir Ron's controlling player must choose one of these 2 profiles to use for all of Fafnir's attacks. So single axe, +2 strength, AP2, melee, shield master, specialist weapon, master crafted. So really that's the one you're going to be using most of the time, to be honest, particularly in challenges. Twinned axe. This is +1 strength, AP2, melee, rampage 2, specialist weapon, 2-handed, master crafted. So
+2 strength on the charge. Is that what it is?
Rampage, no, it's extra attacks.
Oh, gotcha.
If you are outnumbered.
Gotcha.
So say if he's fighting like a tactical blob or something.
Yeah.
This would be a good one to have. It's honestly,
I'm thinking Rage, aren't I?
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
With Shield Master reducing the strength of incoming attacks, I don't know. I have a hard time imagining a scenario where I would be using the twin axe profile. I think vast majority of the time you're going to be using the single axe for this, but it's cool that you got the option to.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's all the special units.
Yeah. Actually, can we do Huskarls?
Sure.
Because Huskarls are an interesting thing here, and I think for
these in the exemplary battle.
They came out initially in the exemplary battles, and now they're in the Legacy of Age of Darkness PDF.
Oh, I thought they were still their own. They should still be in their own. They updated the Legacy books.
Oh, did they?
So that,
no, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, cool. I just pulled it off of the PDF that Warhammer Community put out.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Okay. Well, good. That's awesome.
Yeah, they updated the exemplary battles to 2.0 now.
Kick ass. That's great. I didn't know they did that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Imperial Fists Huskarl Squad. They start at 275 points. And for our non-fist people, the Huskarls are the elite first company. They're the Dorn's kind of personal bodyguard. A lot of times in the books, we don't even see like formations of them. You see like one Huskarl sent on a mission. They're like the hyper elite. And that's why they are a 0 to 1 choice. And they're an HQ. Mm-hmm. Think of them as a more beefed up command squad, which we'll kind of see here in a minute. So they are movement 6, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 wounds, I4, attacks 2, base leadership 8, and the sergeant is leadership 9. They come with a power weapon, visual pattern storm shield, and cataphractii armor. Obviously, they're heavy. They are stubborn, relentless, bulky 2, iron bulwark, Huskarl retinue, and they come with deep strike. So they're certainly more expensive than a Terminator squad, but they also come with a bunch of free stuff. Mm-hmm. Deep strike is 25 points for a basic Terminator squad. Storm shields are 10 points for a basic Terminator squad. So that, just based off 5 of these versus a basic Terminator squad, that's 75 points of free war gear that you got.
Yeah.
In addition to being weapon skill 5 and stubborn. They could take 5 more Huskarls for 50 points. Any Huskarl can take a Solarite Gauntlet for 10 points, and the Huskarl Master can take grenade harness for 10. So the Iron Bulwark rule. Basically, when they are charged, they gain Battle Hardened 1. So they're functionally T5 against Power Fist and above type weapons. And then Huskarl Retinue. They may be selected basically as a command squad. Yeah. For an Imperial Fist character. Just looking at these, I'm not like blown away by, their options. They seem like a slightly better command squad, kind of. And even then, like a command squad's leadership 10 with the flag. So it's like, okay, yeah, like.
And do these guys have line?
They do not.
Yeah. With the flag, you get line.
Yeah. So part of the way I'm not blown away, but also here's how I play them. Mm-hmm. And this will blow you away.
Okay.
Put these guys with a champion, and give them all Solarite Gauntlets. Give as many as you can Solarite Gauntlets.
Oh, God.
Take the Solar Marshal Warlord trait. So they are weapon skill 6.
Oh, God.
In melee. Your champion that you stuck them with is now weapon skill 7. Mm-hmm. Not only do they have battle hardened, when they're charged. So basically, everybody's going to hit them on 5s, and they're going to hit most everybody on 3s, and they're going to wound them on 2s.
Yeah, and they got the extra check because it's not specialist weapon.
Yeah, which they've got shields, so they would.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still.
Yeah.
They become immediately terrifying.
That'll hurt.
Yes. I would put that particular combination against any other elite unit in any other Legion, period. It's pricey.
Yeah.
But damn.
Yeah, I'm going to have to throw some Enter plasma flames on those guys.
No, thank you. Respectfully decline. No, that's like a very literally first game of 2.0 that I played. I ran 5 of these guys with gauntlets and a champion and did that. They deep strike, but they scattered. So my opponent placed them. They charged a dreadnought, got the dreadnought down to 1 wound, lost a guy. Then they got charged by a Terminator squad and a champion.
Mm-hmm.
And that combat went for like 3 or 4 more rounds. At the end of it, they had lost 2 or 3 models, I think, and killed a Contemptor, a Legion champion, and an entire Terminator squad. And lost, it might have been 3 guys. It might have been 2. I mean, they are tough.
Yeah.
And they hit
so hard.
Like a falling mountain. They immediately become terrifying. It's good times. I do hope they get, I hope they get models. I hope we see some more fun, sort of flexible rules with them. I don't know. I feel like they need more for if I'm giving up a command, an HQ slot to run them. I think they would warrant more of that because they're elite. These guys are the dudes. You barely see them in combat. Mm-hmm. In the books, they're like always, they like defend the phalanx from like a horde of demons on Solar War. Like they're so special. They're like rarely seen in large formations. It's a big deal to see these guys.
Gotcha.
But no, they can still be good times.
And of one minor mention before we get into this, the one in the Legacies book, the Aetos Dios.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about
Aetos Dios.
that giant Thunderhawk with
800 points. You got to take it with Rogal Dorn. So it's like freaking 1,200 some plus points.
Yes.
So yeah, you're going to be bringing this bad boy in a game of like 4,000, 5,000. Oh yeah, it'd have to be over 4,500. Mm-hmm. I can't do math right now. Yep, an army that includes Rogal Dorn may also include the Aetos Dios. It is included in an army this way. Rogal Dorn must begin the battle embarked upon it. It is 18-inch movement, ballistic skill 4, 12, 12, 12, or to front, side, and rear, which I find hilarious, but it is a flyer. 9 hull points, and can carry 32 capacity.
Oh, man.
It has a centerline mounted turbo laser destructor, 4 turret mounted heavy bolters, 2 front hull mounted las cannons, 6 front hull mounted Hellstrike missiles, a ram jet diffraction grid, and a flare shield. It is a flyer. It has the subtypes hover, lumbering, transport, unique.
Oh my goodness.
It has the Imperial Fists Legion Astartes special rules, so I guess you can still hit on 2s with your goddamn heavy bolters. It has Power of the Machine Spirit, assault vehicle, transport bay, it has a void shield, a single void shield.
Yeah.
And the Aetos Praetoria, which is the rule that has Dorn be embarked upon it.
By God, we'll get you there.
So yeah. And that's 800 points. Whew. And I think that's the only Imperial Fist unit in the Legacies.
I mean, if you got a Thunderhawk.
Yeah, go big or go home.
I do feel like I would, reserve this for like narrative mega battles or something. Something where you could just go nuts.
Ethan has a Thunderhawk. I wonder if they run it as Aetos Dios. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay.
The plan is for the big blam is Ethan's going to bring it in. He's going to run Dorn, and I'm going to be like the Terminator bodyguard, like deep striking onto the board. It's going to be great. I am.
That's fine. What are you going to do?
Revealing our super secret
What are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you going to do?
All right. Cool. All right. Rights of War.
Do these Rights of War.
Wrap it up. We're at 2 hours now.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I have a lot to say.
Yeah, the Space Wolves took a little over 2 hours too. You're fine.
Oh God.
It just means I got to go through that much more trouble to upload this to YouTube. So thank you.
And we're not even talking about Space Wolves.
Okay, Rights of War.
Let's do this.
Stone Gauntlet. I'll take Stone. I'm just kidding. You take Stone Gauntlet.
Stone Gauntlet. All right. The Imperial Fists were a capable legion in any theater of conflict. Their temperament and training meant they favored a style of warfare that combined phenomenally resilient interlocking defense with calculated bursts of relentless aggression. Key to this, and its distinction over the...
coughing like Alex Jones over here.
Mm-hmm. And its distinction... You owe me $48 million now. And its distinction over the practices of many other legions was that it combined in lockstep the strengths of each legionary as a whole. One such tactical example of this was an infantry formation known as the Stone Gauntlet, which turned the mass of the legion's breachers and warders into a grinding, implacable battering ram of force. Effects. Phalanx Sorter squads may be taken as troop choices in a detachment using this rite of war. Mm-hmm. All models selected as part of the Phalanx Sorter squad in a detachment using this rite of war gain the line, subtype, and Heart of the Legion special rule.
There you go. Which gives you a 6-up feel no pain around objectives, which can be stacked with other feel no pain. So,
and you're stubborn.
And stubborn. So if you're rocking with an apothecary around an objective, you got a 4-up feel no pain, which is really good. It makes tacticals so awesome.
So awesome.
Anyway,
and it's about to get better because any model in a detachment using this rite of war and with the Legiones Astartes Imperial Fist special rule with a boarding shield, which is in unit coherency with at least 2 other models that also fit this criteria, may re-roll all failed invulnerable saves made against shooting attacks or attacks made during the fight subphase.
Wow.
This bonus may not be claimed if the unit model is as part of has made a run move, a charge, or a sweeping advance move in the current player turn, or is falling back. So, let's do some math here. You got a 4-up from lockstep with Phalanx Sorters. You get to re-roll that 4-up, and then you've got Heart of the Legion. So you get a 4-up feel no pain if you're near an objective.
Oof.
Yeah.
Assuming you have an apothecary.
Assuming you have an apothecary, which if you're running Phalanx Sorters without an apothecary, you need to immediately seek medical attention.
Well, snipers. Pew, pew.
Yeah, that's
no
true.
more apothecary.
That's obnoxious.
It's all shattered.
I'm already mad at Alpha Legion. You just mentioning that. Like, it's just immediately that's where my head went.
Well, I'm just saying.
Bastards.
Anybody can take scouts now.
That's true.
With effectiveness.
Everybody can spam scouts now, which I think is going to be a thing. But no, these guys are tough as balls. And even if they're charged, we're weapon skill 5, you're going to hit us on 4s. They're tough. They're real tough. I love this. And it applies to breachers too. So they're re-rolling a 5-up, which is great. Yeah, that's still really good.
Did you mention that last effect there too?
No. Any model in the detachment using this rite of war with Legiones Astartes special rule, with a boarding shield, which is a unit coherency with at least 2 other models that also fit this criteria, gains Hammer of Wrath when they charge, something that confused me. For the duration of any assault phase in which the charge is declared for the unit that the model is part of, whether or not the charge is successful. So you get Hammer of Wrath even if the assault failed, which doesn't make any damn sense. I don't know. I don't know why they worded it that way. Maybe something's escaping me. I don't know. Yeah. Honestly, if somebody could figure that out, please let us know. Limitations. You must select Phalanx Sorter squads as compulsory troop choices in this detachment. This is a nice change because last time your compulsories had to be breacher squads. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of paying a tax to take the cool Phalanx Sorter squads, but now they're just mandatory. You can't deploy models via deep strike or subterranean assault or flanking assault. So, this is a push forward, anvil type. This isn't hammer or an anvil. This is me beating you to death with the anvil. Okay. We're not doing any fancy maneuvering here. We're just going forward. And you cannot take more elites and fast attack choices than you have troops. So, this is, classic Imperial Fist. You are taking your basic dudes, your basic line legionaries, and making them great.
And your Phalanx Sorters.
I mean, also, yes. But no, that's really the the thing that Imperial Fists do that nobody else does is just make your basic guys fantastic through, tactics, formations, things you got to think about. This is where your opponent's just going to be like ripping their hair out, trying to just get through this wall of guys. And by the way, a 3,000 point Stone Gauntlet list, you can fit 60 Phalanx Warders and 2 Leviathans and 2 Daradeos into a list and still run Fafnir Ron as a warlord and a herald to go with him.
Yeah.
Just 3,000 points. Just to nestle that in your brain pan area.
Yeah.
Moving on. Hammerfall Strike Force. So Hammerfall in 1.0 was unquestionably, I don't think anybody would argue, the worst Rite of War. It sucked.
Deep striking rights had trouble.
It was so bad.
Deep striking rights were just rough because deep striking is such a high risk.
Yeah.
Very little to gain.
Yeah. It was just, you were putting your guys out there for your enemy to kill.
The only thing I would ever deep strike in was my dual wielding plasma pistol Moritat.
Yeah.
That was just that one guy because it was hilarious. Drop him in, play my plasma mini game, see how many guys I can burn up. And
he's probably going to die. It's fine. Different game 2.0, folks.
Yeah.
This went from a garbage Rite of War to one of the best. I mean, even, as Jesse and I's game, we keep going back to that, like everything went wrong. And that was still, I almost won. I didn't win, but it came close. If things had been a little bit different.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the models left on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you beat my ass with victory points. But if 2 combats had gone a little bit differently, I might have tabled you.
Yeah. I think what really saved me in that one was we played, I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. It Dominion? It was the one where we, the 5 objectives scattered around. And the fact that I had most of my army on the table at the first turn, was able to move up and start getting victory points second turn in.
Yeah. I think I got more points for killing you, but you just had, you had accumulated all those points by then.
Because you had everything, or a good majority of stuff, deep striking in on the second turn.
Yeah. And
not being able to catch up with those victory points.
Getting put in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But that said, Hammerfall. The effects. Phalanx Warder squads may be taken as troop choices in a detachment using this Rite of War. Note they do not get the line or heart of the Legion in this one. But they are still troops, which is cool. All models in a unit composed entirely of models with the infantry unit subtype and the Legiones Astartes Imperial Fist special rule in this detachment using this Rite of War may be given deep strike for 30 points.
Yeah.
All models. And just your infantry units, they can come down deep striking. Fun times. All models in a unit composed entirely of models with the infantry unit subtype upgraded to have a deep strike rule in the detachment using this Rite of War gain shrouded 5-up special rule when deploying onto the battlefield as part of the deep strike assault.
Which is great.
Yeah. This effect lasts until the beginning of the control player's next player turn. So you
damage mitigation.
Yeah,
it's basically
free reaction.
Yeah.
It's great. It's really, really good. It's the teleport flare going out, blinding your opponents. And keep in mind, if you're deep striking within 6 inches, you're triggering pinning checks.
Yep.
In our game, the one unit that came down where it was supposed to pinned Jesse's Volkite squad.
Yep.
So I wasn't having
Volkite that was just gonna fucking churn and burn.
50 shots coming at me. Well, not anymore. You rolled a 9.
Managed to pin me before I could react. It was.
And then I charged him and killed him.
It was a beautifully executed maneuver.
Yeah,
it's a shame the other half of your army couldn't see how that was supposed to work out.
That one thing went really, really well. The limitations. Models with the vehicle type must start in reserve and may not be assigned to a deep strike assault, subterranean assault, or outflanking assault. So this is like an infantry thing. You're not taking drop pods here. You're not taking termites. You're not taking fancy outflanking stuff. No, we're deep striking. This is, kind of similar to Stone Gauntlet. This is the does one thing sort of Rite of War. And you may not take fortifications, which, you're teleporting in.
Sure. Not much to say. It's awesome.
It's just good. it's just really, really good.
It allows you to teleport on just about all your infantry.
Yeah. And my 3K list for Nova, I'm paying like, I think it's 180 points for units to deep strike.
Yeah, and it's not like troops. Like you could take like a heavy support squad.
Yeah,
just deep strike them in.
I do with the assault squad, and they do great. They get right where you need them to get. It's just fantastic. And again, it rewards. Looking at our reactions, it rewards aggression. Mm-hmm. Go in, deep strike, do a charge. Wipe that unit. It's your opponent's turn. They're coming up on you. Charge them.
Yep.
It just works so well.
Very strong.
That's all I got.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. And one thing that's so nice in this is dreadnoughts being monstrous creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Because, last edition, it was like you had, a squishy tack squad or something that was like hiding until turn 2. Like you had nothing on the board that first turn, and you're just praying that you don't get nuked.
Yeah.
Now it's
either a contemptor or 2, and you feel very confident that you're not going to get tabled turn 1.
All of a sudden you can do something.
Yeah.
You might have, 500-600 points on the board, but they're 500-600 tough points on the board. And the last one here, Templar Assault. And this is a new one, and it's really interesting. The effects. Units of Templar Brethren may be taken as troop choices in an attachment using this Rite of War. All models in a Templar Brethren unit taken as part of this attachment using this Rite of War gain the Heart of the Legion subtype and the Line subtype. So good times there. For the duration of any turn in which a unit of Templar Brethren taken as part of a detachment using this Rite of War disembark from a model, all models in the disembarking unit gain the Rage 2 special rule. This does not apply if the unit is forced to make an emergency disembarkation. Forever ago, when like the old 40K Apocalypse books came out, there was one Black Templars rule for like, just this shock and awe assault coming out of land raiders.
Yeah.
And then that's really what we're seeing here is this, crusading out of, boldly charging out of your tank, just going nuts here. And I know there's been a lot of debate in our group about rage and how, technically as it's written, it replaces the extra attack you get for attacking. So like rage 1 would give you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Will very, adamantly said like, look, no, I'm going to run it as,
stackable.
It's stackable. You get additional attacks. Either way, you're rolling more dice, man. You get, your Templar squad is going from, even if it's only one, you're going from, like 41 attacks to 51 attacks.
Yeah.
Like, geez, it's a bunch of dice to throw at. Now, keep in mind, the drawback from this is reactions now. Because if that charge is disordered from somebody holding the line, then
gonna have a bad day.
You get nothing. So going back to how your units work together with each other, what you need to incorporate into a Templar assault list is weapons with pinning. The Volkite, Cheravile or whatever the big Kratos Volkite is. Take that, because that's got pinning, and 12 like twin linked dice are gonna hurt somebody. That's gonna pin somebody. Grenade launchers, rotor cannons. Shop around, go through the weapon profiles list, find something that's got pinning, take that in your list in addition to the Templars. You want to soften them up with some shooting and then go in nice and angry.
So I was looking at the thing for rage. It does say gains number of attacks equal to the value of X for charging rather than +1. I wonder if there is even rage 1 now.
I think,
oh man, I guess
I want to say Jesse or Mike had pointed out one instance where there was.
Okay. Well, once that digital copy comes out,
that's a good thing to look at.
Searchable text. Thank you.
Limitations. You must select Templar Brethren as compulsory troops in this detachment. This rite of war may only be taken for a detachment in an army with the Loyalist legions. So it's a Loyalist only, and all detachments of this army must include a detachment with this rite of war, must have a variant of the Legiones Astartes X special rule. Detachment using this rite of war cannot take more elites and fast attack choices in total than they did troops choices in the detachment. So this is the same as Stone Gauntlet here. Mm-hmm. You're the onus, the emphasis is on your troop choices, which good times when your troops are freaking Templars with all that anger.
The Imperial Fists are a very strong legion.
They are. These are the guys to hold Terra.
Bet you were delighted that they became one of the 2 poster boys for the new edition.
I really did. I really, 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 really did. If only for the spectacular availability of transfers now.
Yeah, that is fair. That's fair.
But no,
remind me before you leave. I can get you some
deal.
Okay.
No, honestly, I think this was my favorite Legion in 1.0, and they're definitely my favorite Legion in 2.0. I think they're fantastic. I can't wait to get more games in with them and field them at Nova, taking skulls for the Emperor.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Jared.
Yeah.
And once again, thanks for listening to another episode of the Remembrancers Retreat. If you enjoy our program, be sure to go over to Facebook and Instagram at R30K Podcast. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Obviously, you got here. I don't know why I keep saying that. Be sure to go over to rr30k.com. You can find our website alongside some other cool stuff like the Battlefleet Heresy Compendium, all the homebrewed stuff that Austin and Steven made for playing Horus Heresy in Battlefleet Gothic. Once again, thanks to all of our patrons, starting with our Legion Praetors, Alex Self, Captain Sasquatch, Chaplanisar, Chris Mack, Gardner.Tree of Woe, Joe from Music City Heresy, Luke Rizzuto, Matthew Boyce, Michael Tisdall, Mr. Baldwick, Nicholas Quenga, Rena the Fluth, Sarah Luther, Taco Tuesday or Bus 22, Rock and Roll McDonald's, What's Ligma, and Zachary Thompson. Our Legion Centurions, Aaron Maynard, Andrew N., Dave Jones, Duncan, M. Tanzer, Gore Crow, Matthew Andriasio, Nick Kjolda, Richard Bork, Scott LeMay, The Zoe, Void Imperatrix, and Winter. And finally, our Legion Sergeants, Agrippina, Aircraft Terrier, Bulfarius, Ched Cheeseman, Dale Jones, Emily O'Hare, Garrett Lowe, Harn Fries, Jay DeSales, John, Jonathan Crane, Carl, Nick Gillen, Noah Atkins, Fulsidax Monstrosa, and Travis Smith. Once again, thanks to all our patrons, and if you'd like to support us, go over to patreon.com/RR30K podcast. That's all I have for now, so until next time, keep those dice rolling, and bye for now.